Hello and welcome to this week's See You Next Thursday podcast. I'm afraid, apologies for the sound quality, but I got a stinking cold, so I'm sounding a bit rough. And unfortunately, there's only me and Seamus today, so I'm going to have to do a lot more talking than I'd intended to. I was hoping Billy would be able to talk, so I wouldn't have to do much talking, but unfortunately, you got stuck with just me and Seamus, I'm afraid. So say hello, Seamus.
Top of the morning, lads. Top of the morning.
Luckily, there's plenty of Man United stuff for him to wax lyrical about, because I'm sure he's very excited about, well, where do you want to start, really?
Should we start with the club football or maybe the grand old World Cup that's going on in the side? Nobody's been watching.
There's World Cup going on. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, so maybe just. Oh, what the hell? I can just say thank you, Germany, and thank you, Hansi Flick,
Yeah,
for proving me right.
I don't think they did. Think you might find they proved you completely wrong when you said he was the best coach in the out of the lot of them. From what I've heard, it was his fault they didn't make it.
No, but is it his fault or is it mine?
I think it's
I think,
I think
yeah,
it's your fault personally.
best coach and
Stoner.
best coach
Three
and
names.
the winners, my winners, both things. Oh, come on.
The only thing we got right, I think, last week was we said Japan had got some good players, but then some divvy, I don't know who that was, I think it might have been Billy, said that, but they'll not do anything because they always do badly in the World Cup. So I think that must have been Billy, because I wouldn't have said anything like that, would I? Oh, fucking idiot. Yeah, alright, so it was me. But yeah, so we've just proven we know nothing about international football. So you enjoying the World Cup, are you?
Well, I did enjoy one result, that being Argentina's brilliant defeat. That was another great call by me as well. Like, Argentina are one of the favorites.
Yeah, you said how great they were,
I
didn't you?
think, yeah, begrudgingly as well.
Yeah. Just shows what you know about football. Maybe we shouldn't take getting it. Hansi
No,
Flick is the
it
best.
just adds credibility to the whole podcast.
So Hansi Flick is the best coach at the World Cup, and Argentina are one of the favourites. Yeah, I think we. And Japan will never do anything.
Yeah,
So
and
how
I
much
think
did we get wrong?
one of the great calls we did make was Spain don't have a goal
Oh,
scorer, so
goal
they
scorer.
will
Yeah,
struggle. Yeah,
they're going to struggle to score goals. Yes, that was the other one. That was a great shout. That was. Who was
and I
that
think
said that? Was that all of
like
us?
lastly I think I have to say like I was again proven right when Iran conspired to concede six after I said
Oh
they would be
yes.
hard to beat.
Yeah, and wouldn't concede many. That was another thing you definitely said, they wouldn't concede many. When me and Billy were saying they were whipping boys, you were telling it, convincing us that they wouldn't concede many. I remember that, and we actually ended up agreeing with you in the end because of Carlos Queiroz. But I,
The
yeah.
only one call that I can say like I got remotely right was saying Ener Valencia might be a good shot to score the goals against Qatar for Ecuador. That happened. After that, one great pinnacle right at the beginning of the tournament, everything's taken a nosedive for me. So anyone who's gonna go back and retroactively listen to last week's podcast, it's aged like milk. Already,
Charge.
the whole World Cup preview is gone out of the window.
Oh, we're rubbish at it. Yeah,
So many
Uruguay
great
didn't even.
calls.
Yeah, Uruguay. You had them as we had. Didn't we have them down as a dark horse as well?
Like you had them as dark horses.
Yeah. But I think you agreed with me, to be fair.
I might have said Serbia as the dark horses. They have yet to play, so
See, it's
get
always
ready
like
for a
that.
thumping from Brazil.
France, I don't know, we were saying they'd probably do alright because of Mbappe when I said. So we were alright on that one. I didn't see if Australia were shit kicking like I suggested. I was
So,
just having a look through the results, see if we had anything right. So far, it's not looking good at all, to be honest. But
it's
yeah,
looking.
United States and Wales. We had United States that we thought they might do alright.
I don't know whether I said it on the podcast or not, but I thought Denmark were gonna be a very good shout as well.
I can't remember what I
Struggled,
did.
yeah, didn't even score against Tunisia.
Yeah, they're in trouble already because you need to get off to a good start in these kind of tournaments usually. Though sometimes it's a team that struggles and then gets better and better as the thing goes on. Sometimes they're the ones that do well, aren't they, rather than ones that start well.
Yeah, that is what I've been telling myself since Germany lost.
Yeah, so we're not
Spain
wrong.
lost the first game in 2010 World Cup as well,
Yeah, exactly.
and went on to win the whole damn thing.
So we're not wrong yet. We're not completely out of the question. We've just got off to a terrible start.
Some of the predictions are already down the drain. At least mine are.
Pretty much all of them. Basically, I think we're I just don't think we know international football because we don't really watch enough of it. I mean, I don't watch it at all.
No, there was part of me thinking like since the Cricket World Cup that recently happened had a lot of upsets. I thought maybe this is the year of upsets. But then thought, hey, how is football? It's not like. I thought I knew a little bit more about football then.
Yeah,
Then
no,
this goddamn World Cup has proven me to be just an arrogant prick.
like I was saying, I looked at the Germany side and I'm not impressed with them at all. For me, I think they're going to be in trouble while they keep playing Rudiger at the back. He's not a very good defender for me. Yes, you can throw your body on the line, but that's not
No, I think,
what you
like,
need in
I think
international
Schlotterbeck,
football at the top. At the highest level, you need players who can actually play football, and he's not very good for me.
I think Schlotterbeck is an amazing player to watch because of the whole unpredictability. But just as a defender, I'm not convinced by him either.
Yeah,
As a footballer, he's brilliant.
positional sense is abysmal, especially in a back four.
He doesn't. He doesn't play as a centre back. Most of the time, he's just up there in the midfield, probably in the third half. Whenever I've seen him.
I've never known where he plays after. You watch him and you're thinking, what's he
Yeah,
doing?
he's all over the place.
Hmm.
He's more likely to take a pot shot from around the opposition what 18-yard line than he is to make a long, a long bulging run just to make a tackle to save his team from conceding. So fun to watch, but not for your team.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he is. And
Anyways, I think that
entertaining.
his box office.
For a team like Real
But-
Madrid, where you don't actually have to do any defending, it's fine. So you can get away with being shite. Sergio Ramos managed it for his entire career. And I know that people are going to be you can't say that about Sergio Ramos, but he was just not that good. I'm sorry, he was one of the most overrated players I've ever seen. He was quick, he was strong, but he was rash, positionally not the best. And he was, you just never knew what he was going to do next. Usually it involved getting sent off though.
or injuring an opposition player or scoring a header.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he liked to hit people.
So, anyways, I think that's about it for World Cup football.
What's the games on now? Maybe we could switch the
No, this is gonna be a
Cristiano.
segue. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal
Yeah, so we need to talk about
playing
Portugal
against
anyway because of
Ghana.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Because I hear something happened with him, but I'm not sure what. Because there wasn't much coverage of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's been media side recently, not talking to anyone, not making any comments. Poor lad. How is he gonna just survive
I
without any
know
attention on him?
he won't be getting his £600,000 a week anymore. What's he gonna do?
Bloody hell! 600.
Yeah,
It's 500.
it's not much, is
500
it?
salary. Just basic salary at 500k.
Yeah,
Oh god damn it!
it's barely worth getting out of bed for in the morning. No wonder he wanted to leave, is it? Surprised he didn't make comments about being kept as a slave again. I see. We had this discussion earlier, so we may as well talk about it while we're on the podcast as well. I've never understood why he gets such love from Man United fans after those comments about being a slave, kept as a slave. I mean, it was embarrassing to compare yourself to being kept in chains, being beaten and whipped to death, literally killed if you didn't do your work, to what he's doing, getting paid £500,000 a week for playing football. I just don't understand it.
Well, this again come out and said he still loves Man United and he still loves the supporters. So you can't question someone when they say they love you.
I think
I
that's
think
what
that
it is.
I think
He
that is
kept
how the
saying
world
how much.
operates.
I think that's what he did. He was clever because he kept saying how much he loved Man United, even though he was calling it slavery. So he couldn't have loved it that much, or he just said it was fun, wouldn't he?
Well, if he really if he really loved Man United, he only has 6 months left on his contract. Then you get to summer.
The first
Then
time round, why
you
did he push
no,
too
even now, like he's still maintaining. He loves the club. He loves the supporters. After
Yeah.
sure he he makes it as so that it's impossible for him to be playing for Erik Ten Hag at Man United right now.
I mean, that's what I don't get. Why does he? What was his thinking behind that? What did he mean by he showed him a lack of respect? In what way did Erik Ten Hag show him a lack of respect? He allowed him to take time off. What more was he meant to do? He'd be saying he didn't think the club believed him about his kid being ill. Well, they wouldn't have given him time off if they didn't believe him.
Well, to be honest, that was the first time I heard there was any doubt about his kid
Yeah,
being
they said
ill
it
or
was off for
anything.
personal reasons from the start. So they didn't even question it.
Yeah. Weird interview. And by the way, if there is anyone who only listens to this podcast for the news that's relating to football, but after his interviews with Piers Morgan, Man United have taken the appropriate steps and they've reached a mutual agreement with Ronaldo to end his contract right here and now.
Yeah, because I'm sure nobody knew that.
Yeah.
It's not like it gets mentioned anywhere else at all.
Yeah, and by mutual agreement, it means no payoff for either parties. And I read somewhere.
Oh, hang on, that's not true. That's not what it means.
No, I read somewhere that Man United are gonna save 17 million pounds.
Yeah, mutual agreement means he's agreed to. They both agreed that he's got to go. basically. The most likely, usually in a mutual agreement, it means he has been paid off, is usually the thing.
But I read somewhere it's not the case in this one.
I'd be surprised.
Because he wants a break off right here and now as a
Yeah, so he'd have taken
United. I read somewhere like United
he could have
were
left in the
even
summer.
exploring it. United were even exploring legal measures if he declined.
Yes, we've taken a. I just think he's taken. What you'll find is he's probably taken a huge cut in what he could have taken, but he'll still have taken some money. There's no way.
Yeah, whatever. As a Man United supporter, I think it's the right step for everybody involved. He had to go. Once he questioned Eric Ten Hag, he has to go. Even for me. I don't care about any other narcissistic comments he's made or he's gonna make in the future. Just I've come to I've come to expect all those things from him long ago.
In my opinion, he's the reason why he's done this and got the thing now and got accepted the termination now is so he can join into Miami.
Well, I think he might try and find a club in Europe still.
There's nobody in Europe interested in him. That's the thing. The only club that's really showing a genuine interest that I know of is Inter Miami. And that's because Beckham is desperate. And they'll make him the star man, he'll get everything he wants there. And he'll love it, because it'll appeal to his vanity.
But maybe... Oh, maybe Beckham can be the guy that finally unites Ronaldo and Messi.
You think he'll go to PSG?
No, I'm saying maybe Messi can join him into Miami after PSG.
Ooh. Yeah, good thinking. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That's never happening. Surely that's never happening.
Well, they can have two, can't they? Two
designated players.
Designated players, yeah. They're Beckham rule. They can have two, so.
We'll see. If anything like that happens. No, but who would... they would be... Surely they can't play... Surely there is no dressing room big enough to fit those two egos.
But you wouldn't think so, would you? Be interesting though, wouldn't it? Because you imagine the crowds they get to watch their games. Because, like... people had come from all over to watch him. Especially their away games would be full.
MLS might actually get some viewers if that actually happened. I'd be well up for watching that.
Well, I think
it's a disaster in the making. I think it would be disastrous, but it would be fun to watch. Like,
it would be. I mean, you've got to admit that would be something to watch those two together.
They would explore. Surely they would explore pretty quickly. Messi doesn't like players that don't do everything that he wants. You can just ask Alexis Sanchez.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't just end at football either. It has to be outside football as well.
Yeah, he's not a nice guy, is he, Messi? Let's be honest.
And Ronnie doesn't like anyone else scoring goals.
No, but then Messi always said he prefers getting assists over scoring. So maybe it could be a match made in heaven after all. Stephen Leggett just said about us not mentioning the Japanese fans when we mentioned their game earlier, but
yeah, but that's to be expected now.
Yeah, I can't believe people are still finding this a newsworthy item. I mean, they always do it. They've been doing it they've been doing it since Japanese have been playing international football. I don't understand why this is still like, oh, the Japanese fans cleaned up after themselves and the team cleaned up their dressing room. Yeah, we know that's what they do. It's part of their thinking that it's one of the cleanest countries in the world. If their trains are a second late, they're late. End of. That's classed as late, and you get, I think you get your money back on your tickets, or something, or some money off your ticket or something on your train tickets, because they're exactly on time all the time, or really.
Maybe if one of these days the fans leave those stadiums without tidying it up, then maybe it's worth discussing. Before
Yeah,
that,
I think people were just surprised because they stopped celebrating. I think that's the only thing that's interesting about this time.
but that is appreciable, but it's happened so many times.
Yeah, I mean the
We
last
ex-
World Cup we were
expect
we're
it.
hearing it every week as well. But yeah, I get what he's saying. We hear so much of bad stuff about fans. I get that, but
Yeah, but is it really too much of a newsworthy thing anymore? I don't think so.
yeah,
Yeah, it would
I
be
mean
like it
they
would be
keep
like
mentioning
saying
it.
yeah, it would be like saying Phil Jones got injured or saying Neymar took a dive, something like that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm with you on that. I just thought it's become normal to me. So yeah, I see what he's saying. He's saying it's just something nice to hear about, but it's just something for like that I've heard so often covering, especially as like I cover watch the living in Asia for the last however many years. See a lot of Asian football. You hear it a lot in that as well. When the coverage of that, they always talk about it. So to me, it's like normal. When you're in Asia as well, like obviously. So because islands in Asia now, apparently.
Or I'm just
You're
adopted
just
Irish and not
yeah.
actually Irish.
You're one of the Irish diaspora now. No, you've been adopted. Baz has adopted you. You're Irish now. It's simple as that. It's a bit like a Maori. If you get adopted into a Maori family, you're a Maori, and you're now Irish because Baz adopted you as his long lost son.
And then abandoned us as well.
I know, miserable bastard. If you're listening to this, Bazza, you miserable get.
Now, if you're listening to this, firstly, why?
Nah, yeah, let's be honest, he won't be listening. He's got better things to do, that's why he's not doing them. Doing these, not doing them. He's doing the better things, that's why he's not on the podcast anymore. Bit like Robbie.
No, I was more alluding to the fact that this is meant to be World Cup related podcast. He's Irish. There
Yeah,
is no point.
they've got nothing for him to talk about, is there?
Yeah.
I was thinking Bobby might be on, but I think he's still running scared after you keep flirting with him.
Maybe I think it's more a case of his wife got hold of one of those podcasts.
What,
And
and
now
strung him up by the balls for hearing about what he's got up to. Could well be.
now she's just scared that I'm gonna steal her man away.
I'm sure she's terrified. I haven't seen pictures of her. Yeah, I'm sure she's absolutely petrified, mate.
No,
Can't
don't bring
compete.
it up. We're
She
live.
can't
Don't
compete.
bring it up.
She can't compete with you. Let's be honest.
Don't bring those things up while we're live on air.
Yeah,
Those are for after dark sessions.
yeah, yeah. When Bobby's on, when
Yeah.
he's telling us his tales after we finished. Yeah, I miss those, to be honest. Anyway, we'll move on because I think we've said all we can about Cristiano Ronaldo, haven't we?
Yeah, about Cristiano, yes, but about Man United, that's not the only noteworthy
Yeah,
news.
that's exactly what I was
A
going to
lot,
say.
yeah, a lot of things have happened at Manchester United since we last did the podcast. Ronnie, as expected, got the sack, but that news didn't hold true for much long because just about right after that, news broke that just like Liverpool owners FSG, the Glazers family are open to outside investment and are exploring a sale as a
Which is odd
real
because
option as well.
only a few months ago, they said they weren't interested in the sale. So I wonder what's changed for them. So
Yeah, I wonder what's changed.
a lot of people are suggesting it's the European Super League is completely ended, but Juventus and Real Madrid and Barcelona don't think it's completely off the table. So yeah, maybe Joel Glazer's just throwing a fit because they've lost his favourite player.
Or maybe after Ronaldo's criticism, his butt hurt.
Oh yeah, maybe he's thrown his toys out the pram as well because he loves Ronaldo, and being criticised by Ronaldo and having to sack him probably didn't do his ego any good, did it?
Yeah, after being attributed to the whole Ronaldo return, he was the guy that took most of the credit.
Well, he was the one that went and did it, because he loves him,
Yeah.
didn't he? He thought it was like he thought he was doing something great for the club.
Yeah, and for the first month, yeah, it was very good as well for the club. For the from the fans' perspective, people were like, "Yeah, okay." Glazers out was
Got him beat Man
not on
City,
any.
do you remember
Yeah,
as well?
it took a backseat for about a month when Ronnie returned.
Yeah, it's quite odd how quickly it changed though. How quickly it soured for him, and how did nobody think before they even signed him? Like, how did the fans not realise that this was going to be a big mistake? Because everyone had seen him for Juventus. He was fucking awful. That's why they wanted rid of him. He was terrible for them, weren't he?
Ultimately, it's been two failures for Ronaldo. That was Juventus and Man United.
Is his career at the top level done?
Surely it must be.
Is this like? That's why I'm saying Inter Miami, because I can't see anybody else going for him at all, because I just don't see there being a place for him in the team. I don't think he's good enough to make up for his lack of work rate anymore.
Yeah, maybe Glazers can sell Man United, buy a part of Inter Miami, and then that way Joe Glazer can still be.
Yeah, still be involved with his Bezzy.
Yeah, like as I alluded, Liverpool are seemingly up for sale. Man United are also up for sale. If you had a choice, putting aside the fact that you are a Liverpool supporter,
I don't think it is.
which is a better investment opportunity?
I don't see that there's any dispute that Liverpool are in a much better position. You're going to have to put money into the infrastructure of Man United, whereas Liverpool's had massive investment in theirs. Yeah, the new
Do you also
training
not
centre.
think Liverpool would be cheaper as compared?
I don't know. I don't know about the price, but because it's still going to be billions either way, isn't it? But
Yeah, yeah, it's like
I'm saying, putting all that aside, if you're just actually looking at the state of the clubs, the amount of money you're going to have to spend on the infrastructure of Man United, whereas Liverpool's is all that it's just been basically overhauled. So
yeah, and I also think like if you even if you bought both, you got both teams at the same price, like you said, Man United would need further investment in the infrastructure. Liverpool maybe not as much.
yeah, the only thing you'd need to invest in is the same as you'd need to in Man United, and that's the team. And you're going to have to do that whichever team you buy. Yeah, that's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously. But
So
then again, United seemingly make a lot more.
but the
We
gap's
just
been
generate, yeah, we just generate a lot more income.
yeah, but it's closing, and there's a lot of people that are pulling out of deals with Man United because they're unhappy with them. Remember, there's
Yeah,
quite a
but
few
that's not
like
gonna
Team Viewer
last.
want to pull out. But well, it depends. You've got to win things, and you're not going to win things while Man City is still there.
No, but
Well,
like Eric,
we're all playing for
no, but
second place
like
without Klopp.
Eric said before, like Eric Ten Hag said before, all eras come to an end. For now, I'm fully on board the Eric Ten Hag train. So
Yeah, but you know, is he going to win the league over Man City with Pep Guardiola spending what was it in his? No, we won't go. I won't mention how much he spent yet. We'll save that for when we talk about him. But basically, you know, you're going to have to spend obscene amounts of money on a team to to compete with Man City. And at Man United, you've also got to spend even more on updating the stadium, refurbishing it, and a training ground. The youth academy needs invest. In fact, everything basically needs money.
to
Yeah,
be
I think
honest,
Man
the only
United's
like
something to avoid.
to be honest, the only thing you don't actually need investment in is the managerial position right now.
Yeah,
Except that, hand to heart, you could make an argument for everything else. Everything else at Man United.
I'm with you on that. I think he's probably the best thing about the club right now. Maybe you could say like Marcus Rashford is a decent.
No, but his contract is up, and contract renewal is also in a way investment.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got to get his contract done as well.
Yeah, I just didn't throw this comment at random. Like, except Eric Ten Hag, everything else needs some kind of investment from the youth setup, from the footballing operation setup, from the business setup, and obviously the falling apart infrastructures.
Mm. Well, it's not something you'd want to. To me, it's not something I'd look at and see a great deal of return on any investment made.
Yeah, because I fully expect both our clubs to get at least $4 billion valuation.
Yeah, you'd think so.
At a minimum, I would think that would be the
Well, you
number
can't even
both
say
owners
the
would be
you
looking
can't
at.
even say the debt because both of them have got huge amounts of debt. So,
Yeah, and also like my point being, there's only so much you can grow as a club. There is a ceiling.
mm,
I don't see much scope after 4 billion.
yeah, exactly. Well, where can you go from there? The only thing you can do is if there's a European Super League, which obviously UEFA are bringing in a variation of it. So maybe that'll help grow, but I can't see it. You know, they've got to make it into it, qualify regularly first.
Yeah, and also an actual European Super League, maybe yes, at least in the short term. A UEFA Super League light, I don't see. I don't see that making much of a difference.
The only thing,
The club might generate a few more million
yeah, it's
in
not going to make the kind of money difference
yeah
that the
in
Super League
revenues,
would
but
have.
that's about it.
Yeah,
It's still gonna be under UEFA. With Super League, it's gonna be between the clubs involved only. There's a difference.
it's a yeah. It's a very odd situation. It's a very odd timing to put them up. They may be at the highest valuation, but they're not at their best position for a sale because they're not at their most attractive. This isn't an attractive time to buy one, is it? But then, was it attractive time to buy Chelsea?
Kind of was.
In this, Was it? Do you think so? In the summer, I'm not sure it was. Price was high, and it was desperately in need of the, and they need to get a stadium sorted yet.
Yeah,
As well
but
as the
still.
investment in the team, they still need to get a stadium sorted. That's going to be $500 million at the very least.
Yeah, but if not for the transfer ban kind of situation that they had mid-season last year, Chelsea would have been much better. In a much better situation. I'm not saying they would be playing better.
I understand what you're saying, but they're not gonna. They need to sort out their stadium, and that's the issue that they've got. And until that's sorted, they're always gonna be lagging behind on potential revenue.
What's the hold up with their stadium? I don't think
Because
since
Ken Bates owned the hotel and that, so they had to buy that off him. That was one of the problems. Yeah, and the space. There just isn't really the space on the site of Stamford Bridge, so they were looking at elsewhere, and it's difficult to find places in the region that they were allowed to build a new football stadium in, because London didn't really, then London fought it against it for some reason. I don't know why, because you'd think a football
maybe
stadium's a
Chelsea
good
should
thing.
just maybe they should just say London has too many clubs and move Chelsea somewhere else.
What, like MK Dons did?
There's so many clubs from London. This is too much.
There is too many, yeah, definitely. But
No, but you can't be moving a
it's
big
got a
club like
huge
Chelsea.
population in London anyway. It's got a huge population. It should be able to maintain it. Gets all the investment. Most of the investment in the country goes into London. Qataris have certainly pumped a lot of money into it in recent years in London. And the Emiratis. Maybe they'll move Man City and PSG to London.
Yeah, get Man City away from Manchester.
That reminds me, do you ever hear the stories about Ronaldinho when he was at PSG? He'd spend most of his time partying in London. That was one of the things Ferguson was unsure of about him. That's why that was one of the things that...
In London is a little bit of a surprise. Partying is like, it's Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Ronaldinho, but he used to go to London almost every night, pretty much. Like, he was there like 2-3 times a week, partying. That's how and Fergie knew about that. That was one of the things. He still wanted to sign him, but he wasn't willing to go as high as he probably would have if it hadn't been for that. You'd have probably ended up signing him. What could have been, eh?
Yeah, what could have been, like, imagine a scenario where Ronaldinho doesn't party as hard. I'm not saying he doesn't party at all. I'm just saying, tones it down a little.
Hard.
Do you think maybe it just takes away from him as a player as well?
Oh,
Do you think that's just part of?
Yeah, it destroyed him for me. Destroyed him early. He used to go, oh man, when he was in Italy, he used to take all sorts of players out drinking with him, didn't he? Out partying. Adriano, for instance, I think it was, used to go out drinking with him, among others.
Well, this is one great tangent as well. Man United off for sale ends up with Ronaldinho taking players out on the drink in Italy.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, I don't know why I even mentioned.
No, that's par for the course for us. That's par for the course.
We got no Billy to keep us on the straight and narrow. That's the problem. I was being sarcastic because he's normally one of the worst for it, isn't he? He normally joins in the tangent.
So anyways, I think in all likelihood next season both of our clubs will be seeing some sort of ownership overhaul.
Are you
Most
worried
likely new
about
owners.
like the Saudi government have come out and said they'd support buying one of them?
I don't care.
You wouldn't
I don't
care if
care.
Saudi Arabia bought Man United.
I don't care. I don't care as much about football as I used to.
Uh, I thought you were going to say about human rights. So. It is
No, but
for me. It's worrying that
no, I wouldn't prefer them as owners, but when you're going into territories of people investing billions of dollars into what is essentially a playing game, at the end of the day, it's it's more of a dick swinging competition for the billionaires. The
the
whole
chances of
football
getting
owner. Yeah.
the chances of getting a decent billionaire are between 0 and nothing, aren't they? Anyway, because you don't get that kind of money by being a nice guy. Let's face it, or woman.
You look hard enough, you will find some really disturbing things about everyone
Oh yeah,
with
exactly.
those sorts of wealth.
Yeah, you just don't make that kind of money by being nice. It's not possible. Because if you're that nice, you just wouldn't end up with all that money. You know, because you'd find when you've got enough money, you don't need any more to live on. You Why would you carry on making more if you're not greedy? So for starters, you've got to be at least very greedy. Yeah, this.
I was gonna say like, why are all the Americans were starting to sell up all of a sudden? But then I realized they end up selling it to just some other American dude.
Yeah, like Todd Bowley bought Chelsea. He's American. I'd just like to point that out. So they're not selling that really.
No,
Redwood
they're just
Virgin.
selling to someone else from
Yeah.
some other part of the country.
The thing is, FSG are only selling a percentage of Liverpool. The Glazers are will be selling their majority share of Man United. It's not people are like gonna make out it's a full set. There'll still be some people involved who were involved before.
Yeah, and also with FSC, like at least with FSC, I don't know for sure about Glazers. With FSC, they're more of a sports investment group
Yeah,
who are
that's
always
exactly what
looking
they
to
are.
expand. Yeah, we're always looking to acquire investment into the whole group as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this is nothing. This is nothing new. We've been saying this all along. They've been trying to get investment in the group. They've been approaching Chinese companies for a long time. So it's nothing new. They brought it. They partnered up with, like as you've said, they partnered up with Nike and that to go into a series of investments. Brought in LeBron James.
Does LeBron stay or go to FSG? Like,
Well, he's got a percentage, hasn't he? Small percentage, something like between 2 and 5%, hasn't he? But I'm not sure whether that's whether
yeah, that is
that's
what I was asking. Like,
up for
does he?
grabs.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have thought so because
Does he just
it's not
own?
FSG owned. It's not an FSG, but unless he owns it in FS. I can't remember whether it's in the investment, the company that owns Liverpool, or whether it's in FSG because that owns Liverpool. If you see what I mean. But I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
it's.
That was exactly what I was meaning to ask. Does he own like 2, 3, 5, however many percentage into Liverpool or into FSG?
That is a good question. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have looked at this before, and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was in the company that owned Liverpool, rather than in FSG. If you see what I mean. I'm pretty
Ah,
sure
alright, alright.
FSG gave him a small percentage of the company that owns Liverpool, but that doesn't mean he won't be. He might not have to sell up anyway if there's a takeover.
Let's see which club gets taken over before Liverpool or Man United.
Be interesting. I mean, we could be totally wrong and say we're both saying that like really it looks like Liverpool's the better bet to invest in, but we could both turn out to be wrong. Maybe somebody will look at it and say, yeah, but you can raise the value of the club higher when Manchester United because by investing in it.
Yeah, or maybe someone just thinks if I buy into Liverpool and win the league, yeah, that just happened 3 years ago. If you buy into Man United and you turn them into competitive team, then that's more of an achievement right now. Maybe there's someone out there that's looking for a challenge instead of just a business idea.
You'd be surprised spending that kind of money, but it would be interesting if there was. Speaking of Liverpool, I see Julian Ward's leaving at the end of the season as well, who replaced Mike Edwards. Again, people are going, oh God, he's leaving. I don't understand the big deal, to be honest. I don't know what he's done that's any him and Mike Edwards, I don't understand what they've done that people are so excited about.
No, he signed Luis Diaz, right? Julian Ward. Is it that
Yeah,
what
but
he gets credited for?
he didn't go and scout him. He didn't make all he did was negotiate a contract. I mean, and how
And
much of that is
also,
down to
and
his
also,
skill?
I think it's pretty much forgotten, but that deal came about because Spurs had reached some sort of an agreement with Porto, which meant he was kind of on the market, and also Luis Diaz waited to see if either of Liverpool or Man United would actually come in for him.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Klopp had wanted to sign him in the summer before, and we didn't sign him. So I don't think it's that big. That's something you can claim he's done brilliantly by signing him 6 months too late, in my opinion. Perhaps
And I think there's only one personnel change. There's only one personnel change that Liverpool fans should really be worried about when it actually happens, and that's Klopp. That's about it.
Exactly.
After,
For me,
after that,
that's how I look at it as well.
yeah. After that, whatever happens, like you should be fine.
Yeah, and if they'd signed Luis Diaz and Klopp wanted him in the summer, perhaps Liverpool would have won all 4 trophies instead of missing out on 2. Certainly would have had a better chance in the league, wouldn't they? Because Mane
We never
was
know.
awful all season until he shifted into the middle when Diaz came in.
Yeah, we never know. We can speculate.
You'd certainly
What
expect
might
him to pick up more points with Diaz in the team than without him. The way he performed when he did come in.
Yeah, but it's another position to fill.
Yeah, but again, it's not really. To me, it's just someone to negotiate contracts. That's the only thing they really did. No matter what people may say.
Yeah, what is the job description? Is it director of football? Is it director of negotiations? What is it termed as?
If I remember,
Chief executive.
He's technical director. Hang on.
Yeah, because I remember when we still have a very weird structure from what I can gather,
and head
from
of
what I
data is
understand.
leaving Liverpool as well, Ian Graham. I forgot about that. And again.
Yeah, but it's a different section of the football operations, scouts players, a different sections gonna decide on who to go after, and there's gonna be another section that actually does the negotiations.
Sporting.
If you're just losing the negotiator, then it's a lot less of an issue, I would think.
Yeah, I'm just not that. Yeah, it's an important role, but when you've got Klopp's making basically all the decision making, so he's not actually as important. Sorry, should be an important role. On paper, it's an important role, but basically Klopp's doing most of that. So yeah, I don't think it's enough. For me, I don't think it's a worry. I don't think it's really that important either, and I don't know why I even mention it. I suppose it's just something to talk about, really. People keep texting me about it today, so I thought we should mention it. Personally, I don't think it's a big deal. But then I didn't see the issue with Edwards going, and everyone else thinks he's some kind of messiah for some reason. Despite the fact
we were linked with him as well, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is the guy that gave Oxlade-Chamberlain a massive contract that meant we couldn't get rid of him, and Naby Keita a massive contract. Couldn't get rid of him either because of it. So, forgive me if I just think he's good. It's good riddance personally. Yeah, I'm just not that impressed with either of them. I'm sure somebody will tell me what I'm wrong and I'm missing something, but I just don't know what it is. So unless somebody can inform me what it is, then I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, so what else have we got on the agenda, mate?
I think that's about it.
I thought we had something else to talk about. That's why I was saying I could have sworn there was something else.
Let me think. Talked about the World Cup. Ronaldo, Man United.
We've mentioned Have we mentioned how bizarre it was to play Harry Kane for England? When he's
I remember what was. I remember what's left on the agenda. The contract renewal of Pep Guardiola.
Shit, yeah. What?
Well, if he didn't renew his contract and left after I think his deal had only till the summer to run, right?
Well, I'm a bit worried about Pep. I mean, he's only managed to spend £1.22 billion so far. I just don't know how he does it. I mean, how does he manage to win everything when he's only spending such meagre amounts of money? I think Man City need to dig deeper and give him some money to spend, don't you?
Yeah, they need to open up their purse a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfair. I mean, how is he meant to keep... He's obviously performed miracles to keep them up there, really.
Yeah, but I was gonna ask, would you class his term at Man City till now as a success?
No, because he's been brought in to win the Champions League. Till he wins the Champions League, how can it be classed as a success? Let's be honest, every manager that's been there since the Emiratis took over, since Abu Dhabi bought them, they've won the league. It's nothing special to win the league when you outspending every other team in it, but Champions League, on the other hand, that's the pinnacle, isn't it?
You are actually right, because they brought in Mancini, he won the league. Then they brought in Pellegrini, won the league.
It was awful for West Ham. Couldn't win a thing with West Ham, and yet he managed to win the league with Man City, because it's easy when you got £1 billion to spend, isn't it?
Yeah, Guardiola. He's won the league.
When you can't sign a decent fullbacks, you just keep buying them until you find one. And that's how it works, isn't it? You just keep buying and buying and buying until eventually you find good ones. If that means you have to buy 7 new ones every season, it doesn't matter, because you've got plenty of money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many tries you actually need to succeed. You sign a keeper, he doesn't succeed, break the record, world record.
Yeah, sign another one.
You sign a centre back to break the record, it doesn't quite work out. You sign another one that breaks the record.
Yeah, and that's how it works with them, and that's it. It's kind of difficult not to win the Premier League, really.
Yeah, but it must be like before anybody starts going all crazy about things. It is still a tough job to get all those players, all those egos going in.
To keep it going so
Yeah,
long, I think is
yeah,
enough. I think that's what's been
again
so
and again.
impressive. But
And players who do actually stick around, who do actually work hard, listen to him, do as
yeah,
he says, they will improve. But ultimately, like you said, he wasn't brought in to win the Premier League.
yeah, he's not been brought in to win the FA Cup or League Cup or Premier League. It's all about the Champions League for Abu Dhabi, and he hasn't won it. He said himself from the start. He's always said that if he doesn't win that, his time there will be classed as a failure. And he's right, because he has failed, because that was what he was signed to do.
And to be honest, he has been his biggest enemy as well in
Yeah,
the
exactly. That's
chase.
the
Yeah.
annoying thing, is that it's his own fault he hasn't won it.
He just tries to be too clever every season, be it in a final situation, maybe somewhere in the quarterfinals. It doesn't matter what stage, but he does make a call that just comes back to bite him on the ass.
And it's every single season he does it. Regularly, he does it like 3 or 4 times a season as well. It's not like it's a one-off. He
Yeah,
just
he
tries to be
beats
clever.
himself.
Yeah.
He beats himself. He manages to beat himself.
If he just stuck to playing his way and didn't keep doing these stupid little changes, what you do it for me. I think what he does is brilliantly is he coaches players to play a certain way, and he's brilliant at that. Can't argue with that at all. He's brilliant at getting them playing his way, but he's
Yeah,
just
like I said,
not
if you
brave
fit
enough to
his
stick with it.
style, like I said, if you fit his style, if you fit his vision as a player, no doubt you will reach another level.
Mm. Yeah, I mean,
But then he just manages to do something that just
yeah, when it matters, he changes it, and his coaching takes time as well. It's not like it's a quick fix coaching change. You know what I mean? It takes a while to drill players into the way he wants to play. So you've drilled them into it over this period of time. He's not when he makes these changes these tweaks for these one-off games. It's always it's going to be a problem because they've not got the time to work on it. He needs you need a lot more time than he's given them. So it's always going to be a problem. Alright, when you've got 1.22 billion to spend, what does it matter? You just keep going, don't you? Just come back and win next time. Do you think he'll ever actually win the Champions League with City?
surely he will one of these years. Surely he will.
Do
Just by
you
the law of averages.
do you think they'll stick with him if he doesn't win it this time? The next year or two.
I think this contract extension is gonna be his last one at Man City.
Mm. Yeah, I'm surprised he extended it
Regardless
so
of the
long.
result, I think if he manages to win, I don't think he's gonna stick around much longer. And if he doesn't win, I don't think the owners are gonna stick around behind him much longer.
Well, they've made him the highest paid coach in history of the game. So
No, I think that would be what 10 years now if he sees out the contract. Nine
yeah,
years, 10
yeah, he
years.
joined 2016-17, and this ends in 2027, so it'll be 11 years, won't it?
2027 or 25? I thought it was 25.
Oh, is it 25? Yeah, sorry. I know what I was thinking because I was doing I was doing working on doing a news roundup and somebody's contract. That was another piece of news. Was 2027. You're right. It's
By the way,
2025, so it's 9 years.
by the way, Cristiano Ronaldo scored and now Ghana have scored.
Huh?
Ghana have scored just now.
So it's 1-1.
Yeah, 1-0.
Oh, there is one other piece of news while we're on the subject. Have you seen that Elite Sports Group is closing down? Gone into administration because they run a load of club shops and online shops for Premier League clubs and EFL clubs such as Southampton, Coventry City, Millwall, Newport County, Northampton Town, Oldham. They used to work with. They're actually suing Rangers. And I mean, oh, that was the other thing. Rangers. We haven't discussed Rangers.
And finally, Rangers have managed to. I don't think you can say they've managed. I think Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has managed to get himself sacked just about a year after getting hired.
Exactly a year. They waited until this year was up before they sacked him. Seems like it was deliberate, to be honest. You know, they were waiting for that. Probably cheaper. Thing is, they'd had Michael Beale up there on a tour of the ground. You know, they had him as a guest of the club a couple of weeks earlier, which is an odd thing to do. Have a manager employed by another club on it, unless they were. It was already being lined up then, weren't it? Which seems a bit out of order to.
And who is this Michael Beale guy, you ask?
He's
the
he,
ex-assistant manager with
Steven
Gerrard.
Gerrard. Yeah, he was coach at Liverpool. He coached in Brazil. He coached at Chelsea before that. He's coach at QPR at the moment, head coach at QPR at the moment, who are doing shit. Went from top of the league to down to 7th in like a few weeks. After he got so full of himself, and like he's on every TV and radio and podcast, like pretty much, apart from ours, because obviously he hasn't fallen that low. Yeah, and he got his head seemed to have grown too big to fit in the door at QPR, I think.
Yeah, but he rejected Wolves' approach, and now he's seemingly gonna go back to the Rangers.
He said it was loyalty that's made him stay at QPR, but this is a guy who's shown no loyalty to anyone. He seems to spend like 6 months in a job and then he's on to the next one. So I don't know what he knows about.
Yeah, loyalty to what?
Exactly. And this is a guy who, you know, when he faced before he even started, you know, before he even got into becoming a top head, you know, becoming a head coach even, he's written coaching manuals and he takes coaching classes. It's like, oh, for God's sake. For me, that's embarrassing. It's like the Pep Linders writing the book. You've not done enough you're not in a position to write a book, in my opinion. You're a number 2 to somebody else who's done something. You know what I mean? I don't get it with. He hadn't even got into coaching and he'd written coaching manuals and stuff. You know what I mean? While he was doing his badges. Sorry, but that's something you should be doing at the end of your career. And then you can say, I've had success doing this. Can't you?
It's just pointless to do that.
I just think he's got, you know, it's like Pep Linders, it's got into his head, all the publicity, and he thinks he's something more than he is, and I think it's a big mistake from Rangers to look at him. But, like, you look at their options, who else is there? I mean, we both say Sean Dyche, we'd put him forward, but they don't even see him into him. Admittedly, probably a bit more expensive in terms of wages, but it's not really that much, is he? He wasn't on big money.
But at this moment... Yeah, but at this moment, I don't even think he'd be that expensive. But surely he must be itching to get back into football now.
Yeah, but he's
poor lad doesn't even get.
You know what he's waiting on, don't you?
What?
Frank Lampard getting sacked.
Yeah, Everton. I was just gonna say Everton.
Honestly, I think that's what he's waiting on. I think he thinks he's going to have the Everton job when Lampard gets sacked. And let's face it, Lampard can't have long left.
I'm surprised he's not been sacked already, because this World Cup break is...
It seemed like the ideal time to me. Let's be honest, he's
any team, like Yeah, any team that is looking for some sort of rejuvenation, change, or anything, this is the right time.
Yeah,
You get the preseason time
yeah,
right now
exactly. This would have been the
with the
ideal
fields
time
and
to bring
all.
somebody else in. I mean, let's face it, you can't say Lampard's doing a good job when he's 4 points worse off than Rafa Benitez was at this point, and he's had a better squad to pick from. They've definitely improved their squad last summer over the one Rafa had. And Rafa didn't have the fans behind him like Lampard's had because he's not Rafa Benitez. He's had the fans behind him. And yet, what's he done with it? I really don't understand how he's kept his job. But then I've never understood why why he got the job in the first place. I don't understand it.
But he's goddamn lucky to have survived conceding 7 goals to Bournemouth in the space of 4 days.
And remember, yeah, it's just one of those. You just, yeah, I don't understand how he's got the job, but it seems like he's going to see out the World Cup at least. But how much longer can they stick with him? I think they're waiting for the fans to turn on him, and I don't think that's far off, to be honest. I think that'll happen soon, don't you?
I think I think he's just in the job because he's not Rafa Benitez. He
Yeah.
doesn't come with outside baggage already.
Yeah, exactly, and the fans got behind him because he's not Rafa Benitez, and they're sticking with him because basically saying, "Oh yeah, but he's not."
Oh
Rafa
my
Benitez."
god.
That's what I mean.
Oh my god.
Oh, what?
Portugal have scored 2 goals in quick succession. And
Uh,
guess who scored the third one?
Leo.
Oh bloody hell yes. How did
Ah,
you know?
because you were getting excited, and he's your tip for Golden Boot winner.
Yeah, finally maybe there is some light at the end of this
Maybe you've got
World Cup
something right
debacle
after all.
tunnel.
I can't remember who I tipped. Who did Billy tip? Can you remember?
No, Billy had already gone off. I think you might have tipped Vlahovic.
Oh,
No,
you could
but
have been.
but Vlahovic would have been my kind of pick.
Yeah, he's got to play Brazil though, and he first. That's going to be an interesting one. Brazil, Serbia.
And he's still coming back from injury. I'm not even sure
Yeah.
if he's gonna start.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you said about not picking him because he's just cut because of injury. When I mentioned him, you said yeah, but he's been injured. I think, if I remember correctly. I might be completely wrong on that because my
No,
memory's
that,
crap.
that's almost exactly how it happened. 2 assists for Bruno Fernandes as well.
Oh, Man United fans will be loving him again then.
What is your opinion on him?
He's got to be the most dislikable player of all, of recent since when you rule out Sergio Ramos and Pepe. Do you remember him? Pepe, the other Portuguese defender. Remember him?
He's still playing, man. He's still playing.
Yeah, but he's like 40. He's not like in the World Cup. I mean,
No, he's in the World Cup squad.
Is he? He made that squad? I didn't know. I didn't spot him in there.
No, I heard somewhere that he recently came back from a knee injury and has only 3 minutes. He has only played 3 minutes since his knee injury, and yet he's in the squad. I don't know how.
Wow, that shows how weak they are.
No, but I thought like Gonzalo Inacio at Sporting Lisbon. I thought he was highly regarded, having a decent season.
To be honest, off the top of my head, I haven't really looked into it, but you might be right.
I don't know how he's been omitted. Maybe there's some injury issues, but then again, Pepe has just about managed to get back from injuries.
And he suffers he's always had a bit of a niggly injury history as well, hasn't he? So you wouldn't want to take the risk.
But we've already proven ourselves to be expert in international football, so I don't know how much we can comment.
Good point, yeah.
On that.
Yeah, I mean, how much have you've actually watched more of this World Cup than me, haven't you? Is it pay-per-view there where you are as well?
Yeah, it is $500.
500
Not
bucks.
500 pounds. No, that's 500 Nepalese rupees.
How much is that like in real money?
In pounds term, it's less than £5.
Jesus, that's cheap.
No,
Here,
but that's
it's
not how I compare. No, that's not how you compare things. How you compare things is
uh,
how much food you can buy
well,
with
yeah,
that,
that's what
or
I was about to say.
how much
Here,
gas you can
it's
buy.
about 20 quid or something like. Basically, anyway, it's my month. I do a monthly shop at a supermarket here, and with the this is you got to remember I'm buying things like nappies for the baby and stuff like. So I'm doing a full shop, but it costs me the same every month when we go and do a full shop. Obviously, we don't buy all the shopping there. We just buy like nappies, stuff like the main essentials there, like things like that. And but I spend the same amount as it would cost me to do the get the World Cup. So it's like, yeah, no, I'm not paying that. Just
So in Nepalese terms, it would equate to something like 5 kgs of sugar.
hmm.
I don't know whether that's too much or too little, but 5 kgs of sugar or a World Cup subscription.
I don't like pay-per-view anyway. I've got to be honest. That's my pet hate. Is pay-per-view stuff. I'm just not a fan of it. It's never been my thing. I try and avoid it, whether it's football, boxing, UFC, any of them. I just don't like it.
It's just given people more reasons to avoid this World Cup. It's not like there wasn't much furor about the whole
Yeah, it's
tournament,
been a very messy,
like held in Qatar and all.
it's a very messy World Cup. This one, isn't it?
Although I don't think it's too appropriate to be making the noise right now. It just didn't come
You don't
about.
want to
It
mention
just
the.
didn't.
Do we want to
It just
mention
didn't
the
come out
band?
this one.
Do we want to talk about the row over the One Love armbands and that, and the fact that Qatari stewards are forcibly removing anyone that tries to enter the stadium with like One Love hats and armbands or scarves or anything like they're forcibly removing them from them. And you got to remember before anyone starts saying this, if you're going into their countries, they were from the the Euros and that. It's part of the thing, and FIFA are doing a no discrimination thing, which like kind of like seems a bit laughable when you're in Qatar. Say no discrimination. And the other thing that annoys me, I'm not going to get into the religious aspect of it because it's absolute bullshit. It's not true. There's nothing in there that says you can't be gay at all. In fact, quite the opposite. Because one of my friends was telling me, one of the priest saying it's all about how they interpret what's written. Is how that's come about. It's not necessarily in there as such. You can interpret it to mean that, but not necessarily. In fact, I read one thing where it claimed that they're promised not just virgins when they go into, but also boys when they go to heaven. If they. So, yeah. And it's not like. Yeah, well, anyway, I don't know. But the row over the thing is, the row over them wearing the armbands, forcibly removing them and stuff, and the fact that FIFA has said you can't wear them or will start booking or even sending off players who wear them. Does
Yeah,
that not feel like
booking
it's over?
players over there. Come on,
That's
that's not
overstepping the
inclusive.
bounds. Well, yeah, I mean why is that? I mean, German FA of DFB have said they're already exploring the legal aspect to see if they can do that. See if it's legal, because they're not convinced it is. It'd be funny if they proved it wasn't legal. Oh man, I'd love them to be able to shove it up Gianni Infantino. I feel Africans' arse.
Oh, yeah, he feels like
Did
a
we? Was that
migrant
last?
worker.
Did
No,
that happen
it's after.
before
No,
we
it's
did last
no
week, or?
after. No, it's after. I've just opened the link. Like, come on. He
What
feels
a
like a Qatari. He
twat!
feels like an Arabian. What? What are you trying to say?
What
I
an
don't get it.
utter
I don't get
bellend!
it one bit.
I think what he was trying to say is, I'm a bellend. Look at me, because there's nothing in that. Oh man, the guy's just a complete
Maybe I should just
idiot.
read the quote. Like today, he started. Apparently, allegedly, I didn't actually give it a listen. So if what I say is misquoted, then go ahead and shout at the Athletic. I'm just reading an excerpt from them. He apparently started his address at the opening ceremony saying of the World Cup saying, "Today I have very strong feelings." It's all in quotes. Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab. Today I feel African. Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled. Today I feel like a migrant worker. What does that mean?
I find that offensive personally, and I'm not someone who I don't really take offence to things, but I think that's offensive to say things like that personally. And it's the thing about being because he was ginger. He was a. I'm not being funny. I'm ginger. I've never felt like I was being. Yeah, I used to take some stick over it, but it was never like the black kids got, for instance, at my at our school, because there wasn't many of them. They took a lot more.
And surely being allegedly being a redhead doesn't make him understand how a migrant worker feels or gets treated or things like that.
Exactly.
Come
That's.
on.
It's not the same. You take a bit of stick, yeah. But like I mean, I had the surname Burke, which I don't know if it does where you are, but it means basically, it's an insult like idiot or fool or something like that. So I've got the surname Burke. I wore glasses, so I was always getting four eyes. Ginger there, so I always got the stick for that. And I was always the youngest and smallest in the year, so like obviously I was an easy target, like. But I never felt like I was. It was just you're taking stick. It wasn't the same as the abuse that like the black kids and the Chinese kids used to take. For instance, it's not the same. I find it really offensive that he said that. I really do. And I bet every gay footballer is probably finding it just as offensive as well. Especially considering that he's saying it in Qatar, where like they can be arrested and locked up just for being gay. Did you see one of the Welsh board members? She was saying she got forcibly One Love hat forcibly removed. You got to remember, by the way, these were produced for the Euro 2020, not for. This isn't something new as such. They were, the Europeans had them before. This isn't like they put them out specifically to annoy the Qataris, like people seem to be claiming. This was something that was in use for the Euro 2020. Netherlands produced it for that. It's not a dig at Qatar, especially. It was just something they wanted to do to show, because it's the way they've always been. They've always tried to be an inclusive nation, whatever you may think of them. It's what they've tried to be, and yeah, so they've brought these, and this Welsh board member was saying she had her hat forcibly taken off her, but she's gay anyway. Like, you're just thinking, Jesus Christ, when they do, she must. Could you imagine how she must have been panicking, thinking like, if they realise they could just wish me off to jail here. Because he could.
Yeah.
And she couldn't even complain to this. You can't even, you can't really call it a. Because she is in breach of their laws. And whether you like it or not, it's their land and their laws. So. It's a bit like when those, when you always get them people who get caught drug smuggling in like Thailand or something, and then complain that they're going to get the death penalty because it's, and they say, oh, I didn't. It's like, well, I'm not being funny, but like, you shouldn't have broken the law there, then, should you?
Yeah, exactly. Like whatever
Just
the
don't go there.
law is.
Yeah, if you don't
Or,
agree with it, that's why I wouldn't go to Qatar, because I don't agree with their laws. I wouldn't go there, or Saudi Arabia. Simple as that. Certainly not going to complain if they, if I did go there and I broke their laws. You can't really complain, can you?
by the way, did we mention Saudi Arabia with Argentina?
I think we touched on it because you're saying about
Okay.
Argentina.
Just when you said Saudi Arabia, it just popped up in my head.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's difficult to enjoy a result like that, which should have been a great result to enjoy. But it kind of gets the gloss taken off it when you see it's Saudi Arabia, don't you? Oh, we didn't mention Iran protest. We mentioned the Germans covered their mouth in protest at FIFA silencing them. We didn't actually just mention that they covered their mouth, did they? We just said that the argument over the One Love armbands. I've just realised we never actually mentioned what happened is the German team at their team photograph before their match all covered their mouths, didn't they, to show FIFA is silencing them. Which I thought was a good idea, to be honest. That's the kind of protest you can do quite, and...
That's the sort of image that sticks.
That's a protest,
That's the sort
you know what I mean? That's a proper
Yeah,
protest.
that's a protest that can, like, genuinely, like, from 10 years, 15 years from now, you're more likely to see that photo.
Yeah, that will still be remembered. That's the kind of thing that, like, people, that's the image that will stick in the mind when people talk about this World Cup in 20 years' time. That'll be the kind of thing that comes up in the conversation. Along with them losing. Though I suppose it depends on how it goes for the rest of the World Cup. If they go on to win it, nobody will even remember they lost the first match as such, other than a footnote to say they lost the first match. A bit like Spain, wasn't it, 2010?
Yeah, lost 2-1 to Switzerland.
Yeah, how many people remember that? Mostly the things people remember about that tournament is Nigel de Jong and somehow not getting a red card. And wasn't that the World Cup that Graham Poll gave three yellow cards for? He sent off the Croatian as well.
That's also the World Cup where Frank Lampard scored the no goal.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah, and it was like 20 foot over the line. It was nearly in the net back of the net, wasn't it, when it bounced back out?
Well, that's one good thing came from that tournament, and that's the goal line technology.
Yeah, that's true. That was already in use in a lot of countries, wasn't it? But it was introduced.
It just meant that technology not only got sped up, but also became just part of the whole football.
The only problem is it also led to VAR. Because that was the first step.
You can't have everything
Hmm.
positive about something. It has to be a drawback somewhere.
We haven't even mentioned VAR, and yet
there is no point.
I mean, the Argentines against Qatar, they got not Argentines. What did I
Saudi
say?
Arabia.
Argentines? No, Qataris, when they conceded the goal within 3 minutes, didn't they? And it was disallowed, even though it was clearly a good goal. Ecuador.
I only watched one clip of that. I don't know how much I can understand from it, but it's way beyond my pay grade to explain the decision.
Yeah, I mean it's clearly a brown envelope job, isn't it, that one? They don't.
You say brown envelope, I just say incompetent.
Yeah.
I don't even want to give them credit that they can actually make the right decisions anymore.
I I just don't think that these. I'd not. They're picking supposedly the best of the best officials. I just can't believe that they could possibly get a decision that simple wrong.
Well, I think even the best of the best aren't that good anymore.
That's true. There's no Kalinas anymore, is there?
Well, I think he's involved in the
Yeah, he's the head of
refereeing
referee and he's
somewhat.
in
Yeah,
charge of it all.
and one change I that was brought into my is that this just like about on an average there's about 10 added minutes in every game. Injury time, 10
Yeah,
minutes.
they've increased. Yeah,
That's a
because they
change.
to cope with it, to cut out the time wasting, which I think's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Time wasting, the whole VAR taking time and all those things. And while we're at it, I stuttered with my words because Portugal just won the game.
3-2.
Yeah, 3-2.
Wow, that was closer than I expected.
Yeah, but that's one of I don't know how many more goals for Rafa Leao to win the Golden Boot.
That's a start.
I'm just happy. I'm just happy he hasn't like, already been ruled out of the tournament with an injury.
Who has?
I'm just saying I'm happy I haven't jinxed him out of the
Oh,
tournament
he
already
hasn't
with
been. I thought you
injury.
said he
Yeah.
had.
No, no, no.
Yeah, and Brazil Serbia is the final game tonight. That could be an interesting one. Is Vlahovic starting?
Who knows? I expect him to be starting, but who knows? Mitro to the rescue, anyways. It's gonna be Mitro to the rescue.
Do you think so?
No, I'm just joking. You can't expect a match to feature Vlahovic and me to be looking at anyone else.
Yeah. Do you think they'll play as a pair if they're both fit?
I think they will.
That'd be
I think
exciting.
they will play as a player. And they will be a handful, I think.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Mitrovic, but
Oh, Mitrovic is also coming back from an injury, so it's highly unlikely both of them are going to start.
oh,
I think it's going to be one of the two with Luka Jovic in attack instead.
you don't think they'll go with like a 4-3-3 or something then, or
They don't have too many other choices.
true? Yeah, they've not got a strong squad. They got a good team, but not a strong squad.
And they particularly lack wing wingers as well. Like Filip Kostic, and that's about it on paper. I don't know. Maybe they have someone who suits the style or someone random, someone new. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone. For a minute, I was thinking Kulusevski, but then I remember, the Spurs lad, but he's not Serbian, is he?
No, he's Swedish.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't he Serbian extraction? I think
That's not how it works.
yeah. Well, it depends. If you're Ecuadorian, Colombian, I mean, you can be Ecuadorian or whatever.
Well, because I guess it's because their flags have similar colors, just in different orientation.
Do you know well, no, it was just that was the one that the lads, that Byron Castillo. It does seem weird. They went to all this trouble to play him, and then he didn't make the World Cup squad.
Yeah, never with the squad. Brilliant. That's just
I know, it's the most bizarre thing. got to admit, I thought he's got to be a shoe-on because you wouldn't have all this trouble over a player and then not want to take him to the World Cup. I mean, would you?
Surely you would only go through so much trouble if the player was worth it.
Yeah, if he's
And it's not like Ecuador are filled with quality players.
No, exactly. They've struggled to put a squad together. So
They've hardly got 4 players I could name off the top.
we're not going to have this discussion again, are we? Where you said you couldn't even name you couldn't name any players, and
No,
then suddenly it's like, oh, what about Ireland? Oh yeah, that was Iran.
No, like I
you
said,
didn't know any Iranians until.
Yeah. Or even with Ecuador, I said I only knew one player, Caicedo, but I don't know, completely forgotten about Ener Valencia. Or Pervis Estupinian, who plays for Brighton,
Yeah,
the left back.
Yeah. I think they've just signed another one, haven't they, as well?
Yeah, there's Sarmiento as well, the young lad. He's Ecuadorian as well, turns out. Brighton.
Sorry, I turned off my mic then to blow my nose and forgot to switch my mic back on when I'd finished, so it's so... Apologies. Oh, God.
Brighton have taken a lot of young, highly rated players from South America.
Yeah, they seem to be really dipping into the market there, don't they?
Yeah.
Seems to be working for them as well, to be fair.
Well, Caicedo has up until this point he's worked out well enough. Even if rest of the guys don't work out as well, it's already a successful mission, I would say.
Yeah, he's one hell of a player, isn't he?
Yeah, and you can't expect to get every call right when you're taking such big risks.
No, especially when he's shopping in the market, the kind of market they price point they're at.
Yeah, because the creme de la creme from all those teams are gonna end up as some players that are more attractive on paper.
Okay.
I don't know. It's Brighton are. If you take a step back and think carefully, then Brighton are a much better option for a young player to join, because you're more likely to get into the team.
Yeah, you get games and you get a chance to showcase yourself in the Premier League.
Yeah, like I'm sure, for example, like we could just use Facundo Pellistri as an example. If let's say he had moved to Brighton instead of Man United, then surely he would have had a lot more minutes in the Premier League.
Yeah. True. But
He's lucky. He's lucky he's still starting for Uruguay.
Again, they're another country that haven't got a lot of options, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Suarez and that wouldn't still be there.
Suarez, Cavani, both in the squad.
Exactly, at their age.
Yeah. Darwin Núñez wouldn't be playing off the left if they had a good option.
No, exactly. He's wasted there. I know he can play there, but he played there for Liverpool, but it's totally different way of playing. He should be playing in the centre, really. But it's just about squeezing him in the team at the moment. Right, so anyway, I think that's it for tonight, isn't it? I don't think there's anything else we got left to talk about.
Yeah. See you next Thursday.
So, see you next
Take
Thursday.
Take care, bye-bye.
Take care, and hope you've enjoyed this. If you've listened to it all. Bye-bye.
See you next Thursday.